God Talk Unfiltered.
So I want to say thank you for coming to Clawson. I have a question before I begin. How many of you guys, this is your first time coming to Clawson? All right. So before our church moved here, this for many of us it was our first time here. So I'm the pastor of Metropolitan Community Church, which is right across the street. How many MCCers in the house? All right. And I have some good friends from out of town who are here for HIV/AIDS conference beginning tomorrow. So glad to have you guys here, and they have no idea what they've stepped into, and neither do I. But this is my fourth God Talk that I've been a part of, and I was invited by Jennifer and Ethan and simply fell in love with this simply because of the transformative stories that are shared here. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to share tonight, I just wanted to pull something from my recent bag. We just had at our church a strategic planning retreat where many of our key stakeholders of the church have come together. And the facilitator asked the question, you know, there are a lot of churches that are out there, but what makes your church so unique? So as you're thinking about mission and vision and strategy, why do people come to your church, or what do you have to offer, you know, as opposed to going to the other church? So we all started to talk, and our church the denomination was founded back in 1968 by a Pentecostal preacher who came out he was shamed out of the pulpit for being gay and contemplated suicide, but then had an inspiration to put an ad in the local paper in Los Angeles, put his telephone number and address, said, if you are lesbian and gay and you love the Lord, come, you know, to this particular address. And it started back in 1968, and now it's a worldwide denomination. And so here we are, 51 years later, and there are many churches that welcome LGBT individuals, and you know, and equip allies, how to be allies, and so forth. And so here we are, this church that was actually founded in 1972, MCC Detroit, and we are now grappling with that same question, like, you know, what makes us unique? And so he asked us to, you know, kind of focus in on that, and we said, well, our diversity, of course, our diversity. And then it kind of morphed into a conversation that, well, do we welcome all people, and what does all people mean? We have a saying that all people are welcome, but not all behaviors. So, you know, we want to make sure that everyone is safe. But if you're not going to harm people, can a non-Christian come in? Will they be welcomed? And then that got into another conversation where some people, but what about Jesus? You know, Jesus is our foundation and our core. And we kind of had this back and forth, and ironically, many of us are still not over that conversation. But it is something that I think we call ourselves a progressive congregation where all truly people are welcome. You don't have to be LGBT in order to come. All people are welcome. But again, when we say welcome, not just around LGBT, but what about race and class and culture? What about, you know, and really the list goes on, particularly maybe those who have been incarcerated and unwelcomed, maybe people who have been divorced and shunned, or had a pregnancy out of wedlock. And there seems like there's always someone to be demeaned in the name of Jesus. But what does that mean for us as we strive to be this community that really loves and embraces all people? How do you do that in a way that makes sense to such a polarized world and community? So I wanted to just share that, not because I have an answer, not that but this is something that me and my people are still trying to grapple and work out. But as we continue to move forward, to say, we know that God has indeed loved and accepted us and has recognized us in our totality, that we can live with authenticity and integrity, and we can hold our heads up high. And as we do that, that we believe is the good news gospel that other people need to hear. And so that is something that we're going to continue to strive and package it in a way that maybe people won't crinkle their nose when they find out that you welcome LGBT people, or that maybe you don't welcome people who are non-Christian. But how do we do that? And that is a task that we all are trying to work out. So thank you again for coming tonight and your time and your attention.